So what we have here is a comparison between the original Pearl PowerShifter pedals from around 1994, I believe, with the currently available and recently purchased PowerShifter Redline Eliminator pedals. These are not your top of the line, which I guess are the Demon Drive or even the newer XR series. But what I really wanted was just another set very similar to my original Pearl double pedal here. I think I achieved that more than I expected. These are very similar in construction and design, more so than I would expect to pedals that are 30 years old. I really like these pedals. I had two kits, so I wanted a second set, and this is the closest thing you can buy today. There are some upgrades and improvements, but also a lot of familiarities. Let's start with why it's called a power shifter, at least originally, was you could move the footboard back and forth by loosening that drum key bolt there, and then you could shift, slide it back and forth. I never did that. I just left it in the middle position, the default. That's where it's always been all these years, and it's been just fine. It's a very heavy plate. I did add Velcro down here, or at least the hook side of a Velcro strap, which really helps it connect to carpet that I have the drum sitting on. They're a little bit worse for the wear over the years. They're not quite as smooth as they originally were. And when I took these apart recently, I really noticed this knuckle here is extremely binding. It really needs to be either replaced or serviced. It's a little red with rust in there. So yeah, needs some TLC. But otherwise, plays great, especially the right pedal. And looking at what's changed. So these pedals, other than like spring tension and maybe beater angle, length of the beater arm, maybe those were adjusted, but I don't recall like changing this gap here. And you can see on the newer pedal, there's a big gap here. And I don't even see that called out in the user manual that it comes with. Comes with this nice carrying case, and this is the shaft it comes with. On the newer pedals, everything's obviously super clean and nice, but you've got some, like I said, new features. You got clips for the spring tension adjuster. You do have this new knob here for adjusting the gap of the bass drum hoop clamp. I'm not sure how important that is. I never had a problem with the old one. Bearings and all these clamps and such seem maybe a little bit upgraded. Newer quad beater balls. This is the old style. And these new ones came set up pretty short, they look like, but they are longer shaft. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to want to adjust that, but we can compare the old to the new. Yeah, much longer shaft, but at least the default position, and they actually have it marked here. There's like a line that you're supposed to put in this window if you want to get it back to sort of this neutral or default position. And I don't know if that's like a special balance point or what, but this is further up, obviously, than I like it. But the overall beater rod is much longer. The frame is very similar, except this is more like a rough texture to the metal, and this is a smoother and obviously gray instead of black. The footboard is this brushed metal, and it's not perfectly machined. It seems a little bit rough, which I'll probably be fine. I tend to play either with socks or bare feet, so I do analyze the footboards quite a bit, and I don't want something that might tear into my foot, and I've had that happen before with like Axis footboards. I haven't yet played with these, so I'm curious how that's going to feel. Whether I'm going to rotate this piece or not, I don't know. That's an option. You can also remove some of the rubber dots. All right. So by default, as it came, probably a little more spring tension than I like. This is a dumb comparison, but you can see that the old pedal still has plenty of rebound. And then you have this side screw for adjusting the hoop clamp tension. I like that. That's convenient. Apparently, I think some of these had a place for a drum key, but these don't. You can see I don't have any Velcro under there yet. Might be adding that. Interestingly, this appears to be a set that was initially a single pedal and then added a twin. This model number is supposed to be just a single pedal. And definitely when I bought these, I bought it as a set, most likely from Guitar Center. And looking through Pearl hardware manuals, then that should be model P-202TW. And this is got a sticker on here saying P-201TW, which probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference, whether it was a single pedal then added with a slave or not. But it is interesting that it has the beater rod receiver here, even though, of course, you're not using a beater rod. So I think you could take that out, but it's always been in there, never bothered me. And then you can see the new pedal, of course, does not come with one. Now, what makes these the Redline Eliminators is that you can replace the cam. They come by default with this black cam here. And it comes with 3 additional cams. You get clear, blue, and red. Supposedly black is like the same as this old cam, but it doesn't seem to be the same size to me when I compare them. It looked to me like this cam was somewhere between the white and the black as far as the exact shape of it or size. I guess they're perfectly round, but as far as the size, it seemed a little bit bigger than the black and a little bit smaller than the clear. I didn't actually measure it or anything. I'm just kind of going by optical comparison here. Let me see. Last thing is probably the weights. Curious how this is the old one, how it compared. So on weight, it's 237 grams. This is the new one. It does look a little prettier, but it weighs quite a bit more. So 283 grams, so about 50 grams more. It's noticeably heavier. How about the entire pedals? They're pretty weighty. Oh, yeah. What do we got there? Almost 2,900 grams for the main pedal with both beaters. And the old one. Wow. Almost the same. Basically the same weight. How about the slave? So let's do the old one first. 2268. And the new one. A little bit lighter. Might be just that extra piece there, or plastic cam, a little bit of difference here. Of course, this is probably a different material than the old pedal board. So there you have it. If you're looking for a huge upgrade, probably not going to find it unless you really want replaceable cams. I mean, the frame is like exactly the same stamp. Different springs. You got, some small features here and there, but this is not going to be a major change. Obviously, a different shape of the frame for the footboard here. The base plate, maybe to save some weight. It's got that like parabolic shape now, as opposed to straight edge. But I was surprised just how unchanged they actually have been over 30 years. So next up, the play test. After playing with the pedals, I'm pretty happy with them. I'm not surprised. They are pretty much the same as the previous ones, but brand new, of course. I failed to mention a couple of differences that I had noticed previously, but didn't mention was they have these knurled knobs now. I guess this makes it easier to remove the top half of the footboard if you want. You can remove the toe stop now, if you like, if that gets in your way. And why you want your toes on your chain, I don't know. But on the old pedal, that was not removable. The original PowerShifter. Of course, I mentioned earlier you can rotate this around, which I think I'm going to do because I do use a sliding technique, and these rubber dots seem to inhibit that a bit. So I either remove the rubber dots or just turn it around. This shaft is very smooth. I'm still considering an aftermarket shaft now that I think about it and look at it more. It seems like, you know, that would make the biggest difference with the left pedal. You can see the right beater has less resistance. Anyway, I'm happy with them, just not as big of a change as I expected it would be. I reduced the spring tension a little bit. I extended the beaters so that they actually lined up with the striking point of my bass drum, which is off center. And I slid the beater receiver, whatever this is called, to the left to line up with the cam there. And yeah, there's still plenty of room between the beaters. I don't know why they had that slid over by default like that. But there you have it, the upgraded Eliminator Redline pedals from Pearl.
That's a good YouTube video. You're terrible.